Defeat the other day, how pleased were you with not just the result, but I guess the way you went about it, the aggression with bat and ball?
Yeah, it was probably an improvement on the other day. Right throughout the whole game, right from the start, the solid platform that we started with. Obviously, a change to the other day. We continued to lose wickets throughout throughout our innings against Pakistan. Today, that opening stand really did lay a solid platform. And I don't think it was that easy up front. I don't think the ball came onto the bat a lot. The first 4 or 5 overs proved that. We didn't really go anywhere. We were trying to score runs, but we didn't go anywhere. But I thought Jason and Johnny were outstanding. They, assessed conditions well, waited for the bad ball, waited for themselves to impose themselves on the innings. And 128, it's a considerable stand at the top of the order.
And how is it as a captain to know you've got someone like Jason who, more often than not, when he gets runs, he goes big with it?
Yeah, it's to be honest, it's a luxury because probably particularly you guys more than anybody and people in the general, support of cricket or fans talk about scoring hundreds. He's an exception to the rule that just goes on and gets big scores, and it can range from 140 to 180, and the rate he gets at that just is so difficult to defend. He scores all the way around the ground. He takes really good bowlers down as well. He hits good balls for boundaries. So that's it. He's great to have on the side, particularly when he's in this form.
Thanks. Can you just talk about Jason and the way he's sort of matured over the last sort of 2 years as a player he is now, and how, what his strengths are?
Yeah, I think probably one of his biggest strengths at the moment is his temperament. It might surprise a lot of people with me saying that, but if you look at the guy as he's matured from a county cricketer into the full-blown international cricketer he is now, the temperament that he shows at different stages of his innings and how he goes about picking off his boundaries and the areas in which he scores, I think from his start of his international cricket to right now, I think there's a considerable difference.
Eoin, can you just give us an update on Jos Buttler's fitness, and is there any sort of doubt about him being fit to face the Windies?
Yeah, there's no serious concern at the moment. He's obviously going to be monitored over the next 48 hours, but at the moment it was more precautionary rather than unable to do his job. It's in his hip. Yeah.
I'm going to go to the back of the room, Stefan at the back, and the gentleman next to you, Stefan, please.
Jason, I think, has got 5 scores in excess of 50 in his last 6 one-day international knocks. Do you think he could transfer that sort of form to Test cricket?
I've said this before. I do think he could play Test cricket at some stage. I think he's every attribute to be a Test cricketer. Whether that's now or in a couple of years' time, it's not for me to decide, but he certainly has all the attributes, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Going forward, Jos Buttler's fitness is crucial to you, isn't it? Because he plays a crucial role in the team, hitting those big sixes and giving you that momentum. So, are you slightly worried on that front that he should remain fit for the tournament?
No, I'm quite confident that it's not a serious injury.
Yes, Will.
Both Archer and Wood touched 95 miles an hour today. How much of a luxury is that to have in your bowling attack?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I think probably the slow nature of the pitch made it more difficult to play. Shorter balls didn't fly through like a quick-natured pitch and easier to play or get out of the way of. It sort of follows you when it's slower. So today it was ideal.
The guy here by the speaker, and then Vish.
Just staying with Jofra Archer, you said you were hoping for a reaction and he'd learned from the second match. Are you quite pleased with the way he learned for the third?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the way he finished as well. Obviously, we've seen him start extremely well, coming back in the middle and towards the end, not under any pressure, but obviously we'd like to bowl them out to try and get our rate up for the tournament, and he wanted the ball. From about the 44th over, he wanted the ball. So.
Vish.
Oh, you obviously went with the one spinner today, and Adil picked Adil, I suppose, over Moeen. Has Moeen's form with the bat made that decision a bit easier for you with regards to
No,
what he brings?
it was out and out with the ball, the decision. Had nothing to do with batting.
Chris, and then we'll take one more after that.
I mean, good news it seems on Joss Butler, but if there is any sort of slight concern over his fitness, would you play him just as a specialist batsman on Friday, given you got Johnny in the squad?
Depends on the risk of him making his injury worse.
Okay.
In the field, in theory, probably the best place for him to be is with the gloves on. The worry would be if a high catch went up and him with the gloves would take the responsibility in trying to catch it or get to the catch and make his hip worse. So in theory, the best place for him to be would be with the gloves on.
Given it's such a long tournament, I guess, a bit like today, better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, and there's 5 days, I think, between now and the next game, so we'll use every day as much as we can to try and get him back on the park. If that's not the case and he is a risk going into the next game, it might not be worth it.
And last one over the back.
Captain, how do you assess Bangladesh bowling today? It didn't look they made any kind of threat to your team, or what was your plan against Bangladesh spinners?
To score runs off them and not lose wickets. I don't understand the question. Our plans against Bangladesh bowlers?
Yeah, or how do you assess Bangladesh bowling?
I don't. It's not my job.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.